So why I'm involved in the immigrant rights movement? I have been involved probably for about 15 years, and I think it was growing up, always being kind of very interested in social justice issues, and looking around and seeing that in the communities that I grew up in, the people who were probably least respected and often most targeted by kind of society and faced kind of the most difficulties tended to be immigrants, and so started to work a lot with immigrants, and over the years have worked, with immigrants who are in the process of being deported, doing community organizing with immigrants, and finding, for years and years, similar stories, people coming here for a better life, people coming here to support their family, and really invested in actually being here and giving back, the people who were making the most difference in kind of their community and really kind of connected to making things better for everybody were people who were immigrants, and seeing that in a really personal way. And then over time, now it's really a personal thing for me. My partner is an immigrant. He actually came here on a visa and tried to do the everything legally, and was kind of screwed over by his employer. He actually came on a religious visa, was working with a church that wanted to exploit him, and so he couldn't face it anymore. They didn't actually want him to, either they didn't want to pay him, they didn't want him to be gay, so they tried to put all these restrictions on his own life that made it almost impossible for him to continue with the work, and so he made a decision that he would leave his position so that he could, in a lot of ways, kind of keep his respect around who he was. And so I think for me now it's a question of, if I was heterosexual, I could sponsor my partner. I could bring him here and sponsor him through legal means, and unfortunately at this point it's not possible to do that. So we kind of made the decision. It was kind of a question of, do we continue with our relationship? Do I move to the Philippines? Just what do we do? And we made the decision that because the laws are unjust at this point, that we have to kind of make that decision to stay together, that we have to kind of go underground. So now it's really personal for me, and just kind of seeing the difficulties that he goes through on a daily basis really kind of impact me, and so that's why I kind of do this work now around immigrant rights issues. It's still kind of that connecting to really people who are really struggling to find their way in this world and find their way in this country, who want a better life for themselves, but also want to make a difference in the community, who are really doing, they're the people who come into our communities and make a difference and make it better for all of us in a lot of ways. I think the other question around what values do I see reflected in the way society treats immigrant communities is just, I think there's this just kind of a lack of respect, and I think even to the point now where it's, and I think you see this over and over again, it's like lack of respect to just outright hatred of people who are different, people who are bringing, their culture, bringing their language, bringing religion, and it's completely that thing that's not, I think, at the core of what the United States was supposed to be. So it's really frustrating, and I find myself getting really angry seeing just kind of the way immigrants are talked about and treated in the United States, with just no lack of respect, that they have no rights, and yet, these are, in most cases, immigrants are the ones who are kind of the backbone of this country and make it go, and from kind of every level of society. And I think what I hoped for America is to really see kind of the values that we talk about that are important to the United States actually take a hold. I think actually seeing people given the rights that that they deserve, basic human dignity, basic respect for who they are and the cultures that they bring and who they are as people, and to be accepted and to finally the United States wake up and realize that this country is an immigrant nation and we would be nowhere without the immigrants that are here. So that's why it's important to be